This is Matthew De Barrows, and today I'll be taking a look at my top 5 favorite face-offs in the EFC. And kicking us off at the number 1 spot will be a historic middleweight matchup between Yannick Bahati and Dricus du Plessis. Leading up to this matchup, Dricus had been demolishing the welterweight division and was ready to take a step up in weight class and competition to verse none other than Yannick Bahati to cement himself as the first ever simultaneous champ of the EFC. Bahati at the time was no stranger to the champ status himself. He was riding a 4-fight win streak and held both the middleweight division championship in the EFC and BAMMA. The build-up to this fight was one of the best we've ever seen from the EFC. Bahati had no regard for Dricus or the South African fans alike, so let's take a look at this face-off. We're going to go to the media days, which is one of the more calmer days in the build-up to an EFC. Bahati and Dricus are going to get up close and personal here, where Dricus is going to throw a little bulk of a slap that's not actually going to connect with Bahati. But Bahati's going to get immediately physical and throw the slap that we hear across Africa. And it will be a few days later where all this tension boils over at EFC 62, where Dricus is going to get his hands on Bahati, defeating him in the first round with 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock, and cementing a historic moment where he becomes the first ever welterweight and middleweight champion of the EFC. Our next face-off is undoubtedly the most hilarious and intense face-off you're ever going to see. We're going to jump up a weight class and have a look at the heavy hitters of the light heavyweight division, and take a look at Dulce versus Norman Wessels. These are two of EFC's most prolific light heavyweight fighters of all time. Dulce Mbula had been absolutely smashing the light heavyweight division apart, and there was one man that was said to be able to stop him: Norman Chef Wessels. Dulce is going to be the real star of this face-off, as his big smiles and even bigger dance moves when it comes his time to face off. We're going to see Dulce holding a lantern in Chef's face, and he's not going to like that one bit when bam, he's going to hit that lantern straight out of Dulce's hand, spilling oil all over the EFC's president Cairo Halworth. But that's not going to face Dulce one bit, as he's just going to keep those big smiles and big dance moves coming. The fun would however end a few days later at EFC 42, where Chef would be one of the few men to put a stop to Dulce Mbula. Next up, we're going to take a look at an absolutely absurd yet hilarious face-off between JP Bass and Felipe Roche. Both of these men were having a very successful run in the bantamweight division. We're going to be going again to another EFC media day, where who knows where JP Bass got this French low from. Whether he packed it himself or found it there, Felipe Roche was in for an absolute culture shock. What's going to make this face-off even more hilarious is how Graham Cartmell's going to try and defuse the situation, begging JP to stop, where JP's going to give Felipe Roche one more hit in the face with the French loaf, before Graham has to step in himself, breaking the French loaf in his own hands. And again, it would be a few days later where the beef gets settled at EFC 69, where JP Bass is going to defeat Felipe Roche in the very first round with a guillotine, confirming his status as one of the best bantamweight fighters to have ever come through the EFC. And in our number 4 slot, it is not just one face-off, it is every single time these two men came together. It is none other than Luke Michael versus Conrad. The first of these face-offs is actually going to take place backstage at EFC 77, where neither of these two fighters were fighting. But Conrad happened to catch Luke Michael out of the corner of his eye, where he thought that this would be the appropriate time to start off our face-offs. There was so much bad blood between these two that even during an ENCA interview, these two could not keep a cap on it. Conrad would then get a head-related injury that would stop him from stepping on the scales at EFC 79, denying us yet another confrontation between these two. The fight would end up being rescheduled at EFC 80, where these two could not take their eyes off each other at the EFC 80 media days, and we get yet another intense and up-close and personal face-off between the two. The final of these weigh-ins would happen at EFC 80, where Conrad would miss weight, causing tensions to boil over even further, where Luke would grab Conrad's throat, dubbing the move as the Hand of God. Disappointingly, this fight never got to take place. The last of these face-offs might be my absolute favorite. This is Don Madge versus Jettison Costa. And we're going to go straight into a media day where we're going to see Graham Cartmell get absolutely pushed about, but they're going to manage to keep these two fighters separate. The same won't be said for the weigh-ins for the fight. The weigh-ins start pretty normal for a second, and then bam, Jettison Costa is going to shoot in for a single leg, look for an outside trip, and unknowingly shoot in for a single leg on Graham Cartmell. And it is going to take absolutely every bodyguard in the building to keep these two apart. We're going to absolutely have to give a special mention to the bodyguard on the far right, who is single-handedly going to hold back Don Madge. He definitely does not earn what he deserves for this kind of a performance. As it is with the EFC, the bad blood would be settled a few days later, with Don Madge getting the better of the two fighters, putting an end to Jettison Costa's reign with some TKO ground and pound. Thanks for watching. This was my top 5 favorite face-offs in the EFC. Let me know your favorite face-offs in the comment section below.